Hare Krishna, everyone. Can I start, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Hare Krishna to dear devotees. This is Radha Kunda Devi Dasi. So today we'll start our Srimad Bhagavatam class with the prayers of previous acharyas. Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे बृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्दा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घ्वायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणाम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्राये स्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Dear devotees, our today's verse is, I'm going to share my screen now. So, yes. So, we have finished the earlier chapter, Canto 1, chapter 13. We have finished and we enter into the 14th chapter of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, I'm going to read the verse now. Sutta uvacha Samprachiste dvarakayam jisno bandhu dudrukshaya gnatum cha punya slokasya krishnasya cha vicheshtitam. Sutta uvacha Samprashtite dvarakayam jisno bandhu dudrukshaya gnatum cha punya slokasya krishnasya cha vicheshtitam. सूत उवाच सम्प्रष्टिते द्वारकायां जिष्णो बन्धु दृदृक्षया ज्ञातुं च पुण्यश्लोकस्य कृष्णस्य च विचेष्टिताम्. Dear devotees, anyone wants to please repeat the sloka?
Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Suta uvacha samprastite dvarakayam jishno bandhu didrakshaya jatum cha punya shlokasya krishnasya cha viteshtitam. Thank you, Mataji.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Anyone else, please?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please.
Yeah. Sutavacha sam.
Mataji, I'm not able to hear your voice, Mataji.
Madhu got muted.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Hare
now,
Krishna, everybody. Now you can hear, right?
yes, Mataji.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Sutavacha sampraste dwarakayam Jisno bandhu didikshreya sa ज्ञातुम ज्ञातुम च पुण्यश्लोकस्य कृष्ण कृष्णस्य च विशिष्टितम हरे कृष्ण माताजी
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Anyone would like to say the verse?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I will try. Hari Bol. Can you
Yes,
hear
Mataji.
me?
Please go
Hare
ahead.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Samprastite Devyakyam Jiseo Bandhu Dirikshya Jina Tucha Punya Shilokasya Krishnasya Cha Vishesitam.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Yes, Prabhuji, you want to read? Jai.
सुत उवाच सम्प्रष्टिते द्वारकायां जिष्णौ बन्धु दिदृक्षया ज्ञातुं च पुण्यश्लोकस्य कृष्णस्य च विचेष्टितम्
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So we will read the synonyms now. Suta Uvacha, Sri Sutta Goswami said, Samprasthite, having gone to Dvarakayam, the city of Dwaraka, Jishnav, Arjuna, Bandhu, friends and relatives, Dridrikshaya, for meeting them, Jnatum, to know, Cha, also, Punyaslokasya, of one whose glories are sung by Vedic hymns, Krishnasya, of Lord Krishna, Cha, and Vicheshtitam, further programs of work. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Sutta Goswami said, Arjuna went to Dwaraka to see Lord Sri Krishna and other friends and also to learn from the Lord of his next activities. Purport: as stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord descended to the earth for the protection of the faithful and annihilation of the impious. So, after the battle of Kurukshetra and establishment of Maharaja Yudhishthira, the mission of the Lord was complete. The Pandavas, especially Sri Arjuna, were eternal companions of the Lord, and therefore Arjuna went to Dwaraka to hear from the Lord of his next program of work. So this verse is mentioning about Arjuna is going to Dwaraka. So I'm going to read the next verse also in order to discuss something about these two verses. Vyatita कतिश्चिन्मासास्तदानाय ततो अर्जुनः ददर्श घोररूपाणि निमित्तानि कुरुध्वः व्याधिदा कतिश्चिन्मासास्तदानाय ततोऽर्जुन ददर्श घोररूपाणि निमित्तानि कुरुध्वः व्याधितः कतिश्चिन्मासास्तदा नाया ततोऽर्जुन ददर्श घोररूपाणि निमित्तानि कुरुध्वः. Synonyms: Vyatitaha, after passing, Katichit, a few, Masaha, months, Tada, at the time, Na Ayat, did not return, Tata, from there, Arjunaha, Arjuna, Dadarsha, observed, Ghora, fearful, Rupani, appearances, Nimittani, various causes, Kuru Udavaha, Maharaja Yudhishthira. And translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A few months passed and Arjuna did not return. Maharaja Yudhishthira then began to observe some inauspicious moments which were fearful in themselves. Purport: Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is ad infinitum more powerful than the most powerful sun of our experience. Millions and billions of suns are created by Him and annihilated by Him within His one breathing period. In the material world, the sun is considered to be the source of all productivity and material energy, and only due to the sun we can have the necessities of life. Therefore, during the personal presence of the Lord on the earth, all paraphernalia for our peace and prosperity, especially religion and knowledge, were in full display because of the Lord's presence. Just as there is a full flood of light in the presence of the glowing sun, Maharaja Yudhishthira observed some discrepancies in his kingdom, and therefore he became very anxious about Arjuna, who was long absent, and there was also no news about Dwaraka's well-being. So he suspected the disappearance of Lord Krishna. Otherwise, there would have been no possibility of fearful omens. So, very nice chapter. So I'll go to the first verse. The 13th chapter was over, and in the 13th chapter, like Vidura came back from the pilgrimage, and he was welcomed in a very grandeur manner, and yeah, he actually gave his instructions to Dhritarashtra. And taking that instructions into his heart, Dhritarashtra, along with his wife Gandhari, left home, for spiritual elevation or perfection. Then after that, Yudhishthira Maharaj was lamenting because he was not able to see his uncle and aunt, and he was inquiring from Sanjaya, and he was lamenting so much. At that time, actually, Narada Muni, in the transcendental spaceman, actually appeared over there. So, as earlier also we had discussed many times, whenever a devotee, will be in the need of, some instruction, when he is in the hardships, then actually within the Narada Muni appears immediately, because the super soul, inspires Narada Muni, and he will get some message kind of thing from the Supreme Lord. So he immediately appears over there. So Narada gave his teachings to all the Pandavas, and he also he pacified actually Yudhishthira Maharaj, who was in so much of lamentation. Then he was consoled, and he was understanding everything. And if we could see, the 50th verse of the last chapter, Narada gave a wonderful hint to all the Pandavas by saying that the Lord has already performed his duties to head the demigods. So he was saying that Lord's mission on this earthly planet was complete, and he is awaiting the rest. So Lord wants to rest for some time. You Pandavas may wait as long as the Lord is here on the earth. That means that he's indirectly saying that, when the Lord leaves this planet, naturally you will be all leaving this planet, right? So now in the present verse, so this instruction was given, this hint was given by Narada to all the Pandavas in the earlier chapter. Now coming to the first verse of 14th chapter, here what is mentioned, Arjuna went to Dwaraka. Why he went to Dwaraka? Because he already understood by Narada's hint, he was understanding that Lord Krishna is going to depart, going to leave this world, because his mission was complete, right? And also he wanted to see, along with Lord Krishna, other friends, and he also want to know what is the Lord's next mission. Because it's not that, Lord is called as Nichalila Pravista, right? It's not that, if he does complete this mission and he goes back to the spiritual world and rest, he is there in the spiritual world also. But his next program will start, next mission, he will appear in another planet, basically. And Arjuna was his eternal companion. So he will be there with the Lord always, always. So he wanted to know, because he had that kind of intimacy with Lord Krishna, that he wanted to know his next mission so that he can also accompany him. And also in the purport, actually, Srila Prabhupada says in the first verse of 14th chapter, Srila Prabhupada says, the Lord appears, descends to this earth for the protection and annihilation of the impious. So we know this, right, from the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Lord says, Yadha yadha hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyudhanam dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanadhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And Lord says basically he appears for three reasons, right? First is paritranaya sadhunam, to protect his devotees, and vinashaya chaduskrutam, to annihilate the miscreants of this world, and dharma samsthapanadhaya, to re-establish the dharma. The Lord appears, right? So, so here also, in the present situation, Lord appeared and he actually killed all the miscreants and he protected his devotees, Pandavas, and his mission was complete. So he is going for the next program. So Arjuna went to see the Lord, to talk to him, to spend some time with him, and to know about his next mission. In the 14th chapter, first canto, second verse, it is mentioned in the translation that few months passed, Arjuna did not return. Maharaja Yudhishthira then began to observe some inauspicious moments which were fearful in themselves. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that he was, very anxious. Yudhishthira Maharaj were very anxious about Arjuna, right? If we see in this material world, everyone are in anxiety. They're anxious about wealth or name or fame or prestige, power, position, so many things actually bothering them. Every person in this material world, they will be in some or other anxiety, regarding these material opulences and material positions, etc., etc. But if we could understand by seeing the life of the devotees are in anxiety. They will be anxious so much for only one reason. What is that reason? If they feel that they are getting separated from Krishna. So the devotees are not able to, always not able to tolerate, separation from Krishna, right? So here Yudhishthira Maharaj, what is the need for Yudhishthira Maharaj to feel, to get anxiety, right? What is the need for him to be anxious, right? Because where did Arjuna go? Arjuna just went to Dwaraka. Who is there in Dwaraka? Krishna was there in Dwaraka, right? So he just went to see the Lord. When Lord is there, why actually he has to feel that much, anxious about Arjuna, right? No, that was not the reason. Arjuna couldn't come back. He didn't come back at all. He was long absent. And there was also no news about Dwarka, absolutely. So he is suspecting the disappearance of the Lord Krishna. That thought actually making him so anxious. And otherwise, actually, there would have been no possibility because some inauspicious moments also he could see because the Lord is going to leave this earthly planet. He could see some inauspicious moments. So that is actually making him so fearful, and he was in so much of anxiety. Here, Srila Prabhupada, when Lord actually appears on this earth planet, Srila Prabhupada kindly explaining in the purport that Lord Krishna is ad infinitum, that is more powerful than the most powerful sun, right? Why sun is said as most powerful? Because sun sets in the morning and gives light to the whole world, and by afternoon it moves to the other side, and evening it gets sets. Sun sets basically, but even after setting the sun, it doesn't mean that sun is not there, right? Because how do we understand that sun is there? Because of that, moon is actually illuminating, and the stars are also illuminating, right? Where do they get the light? Moon and the stars, right? They do get the light from the sun. And where do the sun get the light? Sun get the light from the effulgence emanating from the body of the Lord, right? So sun is powerful because when the sun is there, because of sun, sun is the source of all productivity and material energy. And only due to the sun, we can have all necessities of life. Like, sun can do anything, basically. Sun can evaporate the water and also make a cloud and also gives rain. Because of the cloud, we can get the rains and we can have agriculture, cropping will be there, vegetables, fruits, we can get grains, all the necessary ingredients for the survival in this material world are given by through the sun only, right? But Krishna is more powerful than the most powerful son, Srila Prabhupada is saying, because he's mentioning about the creation of of this material world, right? Because when we could be able to understand, we had discussed earlier also, like how Mahavishnu, the skin pores of Mahavishnu, millions and millions of universes are coming, right? When he exhales and inhales, universes come and go, right? Each universe, which is like in the oval shape, each universe has a sun. That means that Krishna is capable of producing millions and millions and millions of suns, right? So he's naturally, so that is the power of Krishna, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead is there on this earthly planet, there is peace, there is prosperity, there is religion, there is knowledge, everything is in full display. So everything will become so auspicious, right? So once upon a time, I was just thinking why I was not there, when Krishna is present on this planet. I always, think like that, why I was not there, why I was not there. Of course, you all must be heard. Even I heard many, many times, right? Lord Krishna, actually, whenever he appears on this planet, the souls who are actually perfected in the sadhana siddha, devotees who are perfected in their sadhana, they will be assisting. When Lord appears, descends to this material world, some of his eternal associates will also descend to this earth, earthly planet to participate in his Leela, right? So at that particular time, actually, the sadhana siddhas who are perfected in the sadhana, they will be given an opportunity to participate in the Leela of the Lord, and they were given training. They will be given training basically by the Nitya Siddha associates of the Lord. So when they are perfected in participating in the Leela of the Lord, then next, their next visit will be to Goloka Dham, actually, to participate in the actual Leela, eternal Leela of the Supreme Lord, right? So when I was actually thinking that, then I thought, okay, I'm not perfected in my sadhana, so I'm still here. So like that. And also, it is mentioned, in the we see in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Gopi Gita, right? The first verse starts with the glorification of the Supreme Lord. Jayati Tedhikam Janmana Vraja Shrayata Indira Shashvadatrahi. The Gopi said, "O beloved, your birth in the land of Raja has made it exceedingly glorious." And thus Indira, the goddess of fortune, always resides here, right? So whenever actually the Lord appears, whenever wherever the Lord is there, basically, wherever the Lord is there, goddess of fortune will be there, and that is what gopis also are glorifying. So it will become very auspicious. And also, if we see in the Bhagavad Gita, last chapter, 1878. यत्र योगीश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र स्त्रीर्विजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम. Sanjay is saying, wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also be certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. This is my opinion. So see, wherever the Lord is there, opulence will be there, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. So Sanjaya, this is the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, right? So Dhritarashtra was thinking maybe Sanjaya would say, "Oh king, don't worry, your sons are going to win on the battlefield. They will come back with a victory," or something like that. But Sanjaya directly, he's a devotee of the Lord, even though he was accompanying, the wicked personality Dhritarashtra, but he is a great devotee of the Supreme Lord, right? So because of out of his, the mercy of his spiritual master Vyasadeva, he got the vision, right? So he was explaining everything. So he said directly to Dhritarashtra that, see, don't think that your sons are going to get the victory. We know our Pandavas and Krishna, but wherever Krishna is there, all opulences will be there. He is a master of all mystics, so all opulences will be there, and he will be victory will be on their side. So that is what he's saying, right? So this is the auspiciousness of the presence of the Lord on this earthly planet, basically. What to speak of his spiritual world, right? And what happens actually when the Lord, this chapter itself, it is the present chapter, what we are going to discuss is the disappearance of Lord Krishna. So what happens actually when the Lord actually departs from this world is given very wonderful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 31st verse. Actually, this is a chapter, to my surprise, basically this is the first canto we are reading, right? In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the 14th chapter is named as the disappearance of Lord Krishna. But actually, the actual disappearance is not mentioned in this chapter, but the actual disappearance is mentioned in the 31st chapter of 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In between, there were many chapters describing the other pastimes of the Lord, but actual thing is mentioned in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is one of the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 31st chapter, 7th verse is saying that Devi Devi Dundubhyo Neduhu Petuhu Sumanasashakhat Satyam Dharmo Dhrutir Bhume Kirtihi Shrushchanutam Yuhu. As soon as the Lord Krishna left the earth, what happens? Truth, religion, faithfulness, glory, and beauty immediately followed him. So immediately followed him. Of course, kettle drums resounded in the heavens and flowers showed from the sky because they are happy because Lord is coming back. Actually, they are happy. But see, earthly planet, actually, there is so much of inauspiciousness. Truth will be gone. Religion is no longer exists. Faithfulness is gone. Glory and beauty, everything is gone with the Krishna himself, right? So this is what basically here Dhritarashtra is actually seeing the bad omens, because a lot of inauspicious is coming, right? For the Lord, it is auspicious always. For Lord, there is nothing inauspicious in, because Lord is transcendental, Sachitananda Rupa, and his abode is spiritual abode. And even though he creates and he descends into this material world, he doesn't have to do anything with this material world. We have already seen so many instructions from Bhagavad Gita that Lord is aloof from all these things. Even though he creates, he is beyond three modes, and his body is transcendental, not material, and he is aloof from this material creation. Even though he is the reason for everything, he is the cause for everything, right? So this is so now actually the actual what are the moments, inauspicious moments, and everything is going to will be explained in starting from the next verse. So in this verse, what we do is because the actual story has not yet started, so we will actually discuss why Lord had to leave this world. What is the reasons? There is a very beautiful explanation of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami in the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 31st chapter, where everything was explained very nicely. Not only 31st chapter, but in a first chapter itself, actually, there were reasons given why Lord had to disappear from this earthly planet, and why he had to live in the way he had left his body. Because it is some people thinks, oh, it's weird, I mean, just some hunter actually put some arrow to his feet, and Lord, the Supreme Lord, so powerful, he left his body. But there are reasons, very wonderful reasons actually given in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We will try to cover as much as possible, and I'm just going there. 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. 11th canto, first chapter, third verse, it is very wonderfully given that what would be the reasons, what was the thinking of the Lord, So, the unfathomable Lord, I'm referring 11.1.3, the unfathomable Lord thought to himself, although some may say that the earth's burden is now gone, in my opinion, it is not yet gone. See, Krishna's opinion, actually, this is a translation, because there still remains the Yadava dynasty itself, whose strength is unbearable for the earth. So God himself is thinking that this is Yadavas has unbearable strength for the earth. I mean, earth cannot tolerate the strength of the Yadu dynasty because they're very powerful. But actually, in the purport, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentioning that although ordinary people might think that the Lord had now removed the burden of the earth by killing the demons, re-establishing dharma, Lord Krishna could detect that there was further danger from the irreligious activities of his own family members who were acting improperly. So, and although in the eyes of the world, the members of the Lord's own dynasty are always worshipable, Lord Krishna detected that by their intimate association with his some members of the Edu dynasty had become indifferent to his will. So this is actually I was reading, and it is very new for me also, because I was thinking Lord wanted to take. I mean that is one of the reasons, but this reason actually really surprising me, because Lord actually could see with his intimate association with his family members, he could understand that some are actually started behaving indifferently to the will of the God. Such whimsical members of the Edu dynasty could act freely, being relatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They would surely cause great misfortune for the world, and foolish persons would take such whimsical behavior to be the will of the Lord Krishna. Right? Of course, because everyone think that some people are in the misunderstanding that the people in the Edu dynasty are just like Lord Krishna only. So if they misbehave, or they do some whimsical behavior, they think that okay, we can also follow because they belong to Krishna's dynasty. They are like just like Krishna only. Thus, the Lord, whose desires are inconceivable, began to consider the need to annihilate the indifferent, contemptuous members of the Edu dynasty. So, this is the main reason, this is the main reason for God to think of the complete elimination of Edu dynasty. Okay. And second, and also to free the earth from the remaining burden of his own puffed up family members. Same thing. Lord Sri Krishna transferred them away from the earth by causing a fratricidal quarrel. That is the quarrel between the families among them. In this way, he prepared for his own departure from the earth. So this is one. And next, Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami gives another reason. The first reason is God wanted, because he could observe some, intimately some misbehavior is there with his own family members. And second reason is that he says, Jiva Goswami, the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead should never be taken to be an ordinary material activities, nor Lord's associates ordinary persons. Although Lord Krishna apparently incarnates within this world for some time and then goes away, it should be understood that the Supreme Lord is eternally situated with his entourage in his various abodes in the spiritual sky, Goloka, Madhura, and Dwaraka, right? So Goloka, Madhura, Dwaraka, different Nityasiddha devotees came to participate in the Leela of the Lord, right? So, the members of the Edu dynasty are eternal associates of the Lord. Therefore, they cannot bear the separation from the Lord. Since Lord Krishna was preparing to give up his earthly pastimes, if he were to leave the Edu dynasty on the earth, they would surely become so disturbed by his absence, and in their highly agitated state of mind, they would trample and destroy the earth. So this is therefore Krishna arranged the disappearance of the Edu dynasty prior to his own disappearance. This is another reason Srila Jiva Goswami very beautifully explained. Okay, and one more thing, and Srila Jiva Goswami in the fourth paragraph. Okay, next we will go to the text 4 of the same canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna thought, no outside force could ever bring about the defeat of his family, the Edu dynasty, whose members have always been fully surrendered to me and are unrestricted in their opulence. But if I inspire a quarrel within the dynasty, that quarrel will act just like a fire created from the friction of bamboo in a grove, and then I shall achieve my real purpose and return to my eternal abode. This is another reason, because he wanted, he was thinking that nobody could be able to defeat. First reason is, he could see some, whimsical behavior within his family members. And second reason, Jiva Goswami is saying that, because Lord's devotees are there, Edu dynasty members are his eternal companions, and they cannot tolerate the separation from the Lord. And third is, Lord is thinking that nobody could be able to defeat his family members, so it is better for him that he could inspire quarrel within the dynasty. Just like, there is an nice analogy given, fire created from the friction of bamboo. Same way, I would also do that. So what we can understand by this, right? Everything went as per the Lord's will, right? It is not just like that. It was not happened. It is everything was God's plan and God's will. So that is one of the reasons. And a little bit of the but 1 minute. So here in the purport, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that no one within the universe was capable of even insulting the members of the Edo dynasty, what to speak of defeating or killing them, right? So that is the value they actually have, right? The members of the Edo dynasty had fully taken shelter of Krishna, and therefore they were always under the personal protection of the Lord. It is stated, Mare Krishna Rake Krishna Mare ke. If Krishna protects someone, no one can kill him. And Krishna wants to kill someone, no one can save him. Krishna has originally requested all of them to actually take part in these earthly pastimes, right? So now that his pastimes are coming to an end on this particular planet and would be transferred to another planet, Srila Prabhupada is saying in another universe, Krishna wanted to remove all his associates from the earth so that in his absence, they would not constitute a burden. So this was actually told by, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And then if you go to fifth verse, he is saying, Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj, when the Supreme Almighty Lord, whose desire always comes to pass, had thus made up his mind, he withdrew his own family on the pretext of a curse spoken by an assembly of Brahmana. So the next comes the story of Samba, how actually, the Edo dynasty was cursed as per the desire of the Lord, as per the will of the Lord, right? And not only this, in the next sixth 11.1.67, okay. So there was another reason I think given here. Yes, correct. There is another reason why Lord had to depart from this world. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the reservoir of all beauty. All beautiful things emanate from him, and his personal form is so attractive that it steals the eyes away from all objects, which them seem devoid of beauty in comparison to him. So when Lord Krishna was on this earth, he attracted the eyes of the people. When Krishna spoke, his words attracted the minds of all who remembered them. So by seeing the footsteps of the Lord Krishna, people became attracted to him, and thus they wanted to offer their bodily activities to the Lord as his followers. In this way, Krishna very easily spread his glories, which are sung throughout the world by the most sublime and essential Vedic verses. So Lord Krishna considered, now the reason is mentioned. So Lord Krishna's glories were there. He has done so many pastimes on the earthly planet. So Lord Krishna is thinking that he considered that simply by hearing and chanting those glories, conditioned souls born in the future would cross beyond the darkness of being satisfied with this arrangement. He left for his desired destinations. This is also one of the main reasons for Lord's departure. He was satisfied completely because he had done all pastimes. So conditioned souls can get benefit by hearing the leelas of the Lord on this earthly planet. So that is a wonderful reason for the Lord's disappearance. And another reason, the important reason, is given in the 11th canto, 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam 26-27, where actually it is mentioned that the demigods actually request Lord, because demigods understands that Lord's mission was complete. So they pray to the Lord, my dear Lord, there is nothing remaining at this time for your lordship to do on behalf of the demigods, because you already helped and the mission is complete. We got benefited. You have already withdrawn your dynasty by the curse of the Brahmanas. The already Edu dynasty, this is in the 6th chapter, right? So first chapter itself, it was already their family dynasty was there is no chronological order in Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody knows, right? So already this dynasty was destructed and destroyed. Oh Lord, you are the basis of everything, and if you desire so, they are not demanding. If you desire so, kindly return now to your own abode in the spiritual world. At the same time, we humbly beg that you always protect us. We are your humble servants, and on your behalf, we are managing the universal situation. That is what the reason is mentioned, right? Wonderful reason is mentioned. And like demigods are praying. So this is the another reason given. So these are the reasons for Lord's disappearance and how actually the Lord had to leave his body in the way he had left, right? So it is mentioned in the 11th canto, first chapter only, starting from 11:12. Once upon a time, there were sages, there were sages, so many sages like, Vishwamitra, Ashita, Kanva, Durvasa, Bhrugu, Angira, Kashyapa, Vamandeva, Atri, Vasishta, along with Narada and other, they have performed, some yajnas for the fruity rituals. And the sages duly executed these rituals in the home of the chief of the Edus, Vasudeva, father of Krishna, right? So after everything was done, and respectfully, Vasudeva sent all the sages, to the holy place called Pindaraka. Everyone went to Pindaraka. Then after that, in that holy place, the young boys of the Edu dynasty, all the grandsons of Krishna, along with, they brought Samba in front of the son of Jambavati. They in front of all the sages in a woman's garb. So playfully approaching the great sages gathered there, the boys grabbed hold of the sages' feet and impudently asked them with a feigned humility. They're acting, he's in a disguise of woman and a pregnant woman, and they are saying that, oh, learned Brahmanas, this black-eyed pregnant woman, Samba, has something to ask you. She is too embarrassed to inquire for herself. She is just about to give birth and is very desire of having a son. Since all of you are great sages with infallible vision, please tell us, whether her child will be a boy or a girl. So we shouldn't make fun of, the sages and pure devotees and all that, right? So they made a big offense towards, um, the sages is not appreciated actually. So when this happened, this thus ridiculed by deceit, the sages became very angry. O king, and told the boys. I mean, the Sukadeva Goswami is narrating to Parishit Maharaj, saying that then they told to the boys, fools, she will bear you in an iron club that will destroy your entire dynasty. So, and then actually upon hearing the curse of the sages, the terrified boys quickly uncovered the belly of Samba, and indeed they observed that therein was a club. So there is a club, and then they got scared. And the young men of the Edu dynasty said, "Oh, what we have done! We are so unfortunate. What will our family members say to us?" Speaking thus and being very disturbed, they returned to their homes, taking the club with them. The club, what do they with the club, right? So Edu boys, the luster of their faces completely faded, brought the club into the royal assembly. And in the presence of all the Adavas, they told King Ugrasena. They did not go to Krishna. Purport, as Srila Prabhupada is saying that, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that they did not go because of, their shame and fear. They can't face Krishna. So they went to Ugrasena. Then Ugrasena, so all the members of Edu dynasty also have seen that, iron, iron lump. They were astonished and distraught with fear. Everybody are scared. So on the advice of Ugrasena, after they actually ground the club into bits. Adavas personally went and threw the pieces along with the remaining lump iron. Some part of iron they couldn't be able to make it small pieces. So some lump was there and the pieces were there, and they everything was put into the ocean. Everything was put into the ocean. So a certain fish swallowed the iron lump, and the bits of iron, carried back to the shore by the waves, implanted themselves there and grew into tall, sharp canes. So when the iron lump was swallowed by the fish, and the bits of iron were there, they were actually, they carried back to the shore, and they implanted themselves, and they have become a tall, sharp canes. And these canes were used by the Edu dynasty when they were in intoxication. They were used as a weapons to kill each other, basically. So the fish caught in the ocean along with the other fish is a fisherman actually caught the fish, and the lump actually was taken by hunter Zara, and then hunter Zara basically, Hunter Zara killed, knowing fully, again, see the interference of the Supreme Lord. It is not just happening just like that, but with the will of the Lord only. Knowing fully the significance of all the events, the Supreme Lord, though capable of reversing the Brahmana's curse, did not wish to do so. He could do it, but he wanted his Edu dynasty to go back. Rather, in his form of time, he gladly sanctioned the events, right? So this ends the first chapter of the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then on the if we go to the last two chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, the 11th canto, one is the destruction of Edu dynasty, and the other one is disappearance of Lord Krishna. We are going to read some verses. That is the last section in our today's discussion. Yeah. So that thing is happening, and just give me a second. Okay, this is over. And how Edu dynasty got destroyed is mentioned in 11 canto of Bhagavatam, 30th chapter, 10th verse. So there were some instructions. I'm not going into very detail because of time constraint. So the elders of the Edu dynasty gave their essence saying, so after crossing over the ocean, because Lord Krishna advised all the members of the Edu dynasty to go to Prabhasa and do some austerities. That was the instruction given by the Lord to the family members. So, having heard these words from Lord Krishna, the enemy of Madhu, the elders of the Edu dynasty gave their assent, saying, "So be it." So, therefore, they started following the instruction of Krishna. After crossing over the ocean in the boats, they proceeded to chariots to Prabhas. All the members of the dynasty went to Prabhas. There, with great devotion, the Yadavas performed the religious ceremonies according to the instructions of the Supreme Lord, their personal Lord. They also performed various other auspicious rituals. Then, their indulgence covered by providence, they liberally indulged in drinking the sweet Maria beverage, which can completely intoxicate the mind. The heroes of the Edu dynasty, the hero of the Edu dynasty became intoxicated from their extravagant drinking and began to feel arrogant. When they were thus bewildered by the personal potency of the Lord, a terrible quarrel arose among them. Infuriated, they seized their bows and arrows, swords, clubs, lances, spears, and attacked one another on the shore of the ocean. So this actually happens for a while, no, lot of time, because for a very long period of time they attacked with arrows, just as elephants in the forest attack one another with their tusks. Their mutual enmity arose. So it is mentioned, there is a mention of who fought with whom and all these things. So I go to 27th verse. I'm going to the 20 important verses. So when all the members of his own dynasty was thus destroyed, Lord Krishna thought to himself, the violent anger of these warriors who were overcome by the Brahmana's curse and bewildered by Lord Krishna's illusory potency. Hmm, illusory potency now led them to their annihilation, just as a fire that starts in a bamboo grove destroys the entire forest. So all the dynasty family members were destroyed by killing each other. When all the members of his own dynasty were thus destroyed, Lord Krishna thought to himself that at last the burden of the earth had been removed. So the Lord's desire was fulfilled. As per his wish, everything happened nicely. And then Lord Balarama immediately actually left this world, the Supreme Lord. So he sat down on the shore of the ocean and fixed himself in meditation upon the Supreme Lord, and merging within himself, he gave up this material world. Mm, And then what happened? Lord Krishna, the son of Devaki, the disappearance of Lord Krishna, having seen the deposit of Lord Rama, Balarama, his eternal companion, very intimate companion, he sat down calmly, quietly, Lord Krishna, on the ground under a nearby pipala tree. Under pipala tree, he sat down. And then, so the Lord was looking very beautiful. It is explained in the 32 verse, very, very beautifully. The Lord was exhibiting his brilliantly effulgent four-armed form, the radiance of which, just like a smokeless fire, dissipated the darkness in all directions. His complexion was the color of a dark blue cloud, and his effulgence the color of a molten gold, and his all auspicious form bore the mark of Srivatsa. A beautiful smile graced his lotus face. Locks of dark blue hair adorned his head. His lotus eyes were very attractive, and his shark-shaped earrings glittered. He wore a pair of silken garments, an ornamental belt, the sacred thread, bracelets and ornaments, along with a helmet, the Kaustuba jewel, necklaces, anklets, and other royal emblems. Encircling his body were flower garlands and his personal weapons in their embodied forms. As he sat, he held his left foot with its lotus red sole upon the right thigh. So he's preparing for his departure. Hmm. Then just a hunter named Hajara, who had approached the place, mistook the last foot for a deer's face. Thinking he had found his prey, Jara pierced the foot with his arrow, which he had fashioned from the remaining iron fragment of Samba's club. Because this Jara got this iron limb from the fish, and this hunter made a weapon out of that. Okay, and he actually killed the Lord. I mean, he has put the arrow on the Lord. Um, So, according to Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura, the statement that the arrow pierced the Lord's foot expresses the point of view of the hunter who thought he had struck a deer. In fact, the arrow merely touched the Lord's lotus foot and did not pierce it. Since the Lord's limbs are composed of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Some people, ignorant people, think that, oh, it pierced and it blood came out and all these things. But no, actually, it couldn't. No, nothing. Nobody could do any harm to Lord, right? So, because Lord's body is made up of these three eternality, knowledge, and bliss, nobody can go. Otherwise, in the description of the next verse, Sukadeva Goswami would have stated that he extracted his arrow from the Lord's foot. It was not mentioned. Nobody has extracted the arrow from the Lord's foot. But a hunter actually, he was actually, he came and he asked, begged for forgiveness. So, seeing the four-armed personality, the hunter became terrified and he thought that he did some offense. And so he fell down at the feet of the Lord, But actually, Lord's there after that, Zara offers some praise to the Lord. And then in the 37th verse, actually, so he actually wanted Lord to punish him. But finally, the Lord says Lord actually forgives him. And what is the Lord's statement actually? See, we have to understand this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Zara," after he had heard the prayers of Zara, he's saying, "My dear Zara, do not fear. Please get up. What has been done is actually my own desire." So the Krishna wanted all this happened in this way. People will misunderstand. People misunderstand many actually. They think of many ways basically, but it is everything was there is also a pastime, and there are two pastimes. I mean, some say he is this Zara hunter is Bali or something in the in the Ramayana. And there actually Lord Ramachandra actually puts arrow to him, and he promises him that, okay, no problem, don't worry. When he offers prayers to Lord Ramachandra, next in my next appearance, you will get an opportunity, to actually put an arrow on me or something like that. But there is no previous acharyas evidences for this. But what I have heard, I'm just sharing. But actually, with my permission, Krishna is saying, with my permission, go now to the abode of the pious, the spiritual world. That means that Jara was actually given, place in the eternal world of the Lord, right? So it is all Lord's plan only. Thus, then after taking the instruction of the Lord, the Zara, what did he do? He circumambulated the Lord 3 times and he went back. See, there is an airplane that had appeared just before him to carry him to the spiritual world. So he went back to the Lord. There actually, this chapter is saying Daruka comes actually. The chariot driver of Krishna comes and he speaks and he feels some emotional, shares some emotions with Krishna, and Krishna instructs something to him also. And then the last chapter comes. There are just, little verses I'm going to read. The actual disappearance of the Lord Sri Krishna. Then Lord Brahma arrived at Prabhasa. When the Lord's departure was happening, all the demigods were there. Everybody came, including Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma arrived at Prabhasa along with Lord Shiva, his consort, the sages, Prajapatis, all the demigods headed by Indra. Everyone were there. The forefathers, Siddhas, Charanas, Vijadars, and great serpents also came, along with the Charanas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Kinnaras, Apsaras, and relatives of Garuda, greatly eager to witness the departure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As they say, this is also very auspicious, right? Because Lord is going back to his abode, right? As they were coming, all these personalities variously chanted and glorified the birth and activities of Lord Shauri. So Lord's activities and devotees, Lord's few devotees' activities are always glorious, right? Even though it doesn't matter if their appearance or disappearance. Actually, Lord's appearance has been described very wonderfully. What happens actually, what auspicious signs will be there in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd chapter. I wanted to read that also, but time is not permitting. But as we celebrate the Lord's appearance, disappearance, and also his devotees' appearance, disappearance, right? So on the earthly planet, it might be inauspicious, but for devatas and heavenly planets, for everyone, the inhabitants over there, it is a pleasure thingy. So crowding the sky with their many airplanes, they showered flowers with great devotion. So seeing before him Brahma, the grandfather of the universe, along with other demigods, who are all his personal and powerful expansions, the Almighty Lord closed his lotus eyes, fixing his mind within himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wow, what a scene! Without employing the mystic Agni meditation to burn up his transcendental body, which is the all attractive resting place of all the worlds and the object of all contemplation and meditation, Lord Krishna entered into his own abode. So Lord Krishna entered his own abode. So, as soon as Lord Krishna left the earth, of course, this was already we read, right? What happens? Truth, religion, faithfulness, glory, beauty immediately followed him. So, most of the demigods and the other higher planet beings led by Brahma could not see Lord Krishna as he was entering his own abode, since he did not reveal his movements. But some of them did catch sight of him, and they were extremely amazed. Not everybody could be able to see Krishna when he is living. Just as ordinary men cannot ascertain path of lightning bolt as it leaves a cloud, the demigods could not trace out the movements of Lord Krishna as he returned to his abode. A few of the demigods, however, notably Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, could ascertain how the Lord's mystic power was working, and thus they became astonished. All the demigods praised the Lord's mystic power and then returned to their own planets. So here Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj, my dear king, you should understand that the Supreme Lord's appearance and disappearance, which resemble those of embodied conditioned souls, are actually a show. This is very, very important message for all of us, basically, this verse. Very, very important. Because Sukadeva Goswami is saying that the Lord's appearance and disappearance, which resemble those of embodied conditioned souls, like it looks like, the same normal personality human being, but are actually a show enacted by his illusory energy. Just like the performance of an actor, after creating this universe, he enters into it, plays within it for some time, and at last winds it up. Then the Lord remains situated in his own transcendental glory, having ceased from the functions of cosmic manifestation. Very, very wonderful message given by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So even there is a wonderful purport by Jiva Goswami, but time is not permitting, so I'm just go. Lord Krishna, there are two, three verses translation, so I'll end up with my lecture. Lord Krishna brought the son of his guru back from the planet of the Lord of Death in the boy's self-same body. And as the ultimate giver of protection, he saved you also when you were. This is Sukadeva Goswami telling to Parikshit Maharaj that, he saved you also when you were burned by the Brahmanas, Brahmastra of Ashwatthama. He conquered in battle even Lord Shiva, who deals death to the agents of the death. And he sent to the hunter Jara directly to Vaikuntha in his human form, human body. How could such a personality be unable to protect his own self? He's questioning actually, right? Because Parikshit Maharaj was actually feeling distress. Just to mitigate, his Parikshit Maharaj's distress, because he was feeling so bad that Lord Krishna left this world in this way, and also for his disappearance. So to mitigate his distress, actually Sukadeva Goswami is saying that Lord's departure from this world, he's saying that Lord Krishna is far beyond the influence of death. Nobody can actually kill him, right? So he's mentioning about, who can kill him, because he actually got back the son of his spiritual master. He conquered even Lord Shiva, and also, he sent the killer of, himself, like, Zara, who has put arrow to his feet, to the, spiritual world back. So who can actually kill, right? So he's actually pacifying, consoling Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj was in great pain to hear this. Although Lord Krishna, being the possessor of infinite powers, is the only cause of creation, maintenance, and destruction of innumerable living beings, he simply did not desire to keep his body in this world any longer. See, this is another reason for his disappearance. Many, many reasons. The beautiful canto, 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, beautiful chapters actually. He revealed the destination of those fixed in the self and demonstrated that this mortal world is of no intrinsic value. There is no value in this this world. So he did not desire to keep his body in this world any longer. His mission was complete. He wanted to go back. Krishna doesn't have any attachment with the material world. So And the last verse, we are going to read today is, anyone who regularly rises up in the early morning and carefully chants with devotion the glories of Lord Krishna's transcendental disappearance, see how auspicious it is, and his return to his own abode will certainly achieve the same supreme destination. So, Lord Krishna, so disappearance also very, very auspicious. That is what I understand by these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, I'm so happy to read these verses from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. Okay, thank you so much, devotees. I think I'm done with my sharing today. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna. I'm handing it over to basically Jai Sachin Prabhu and Narottam Vilas Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for exploring this particular verse as well as the Leela of Sri Krishna Bhagwan's departure and the Yadus through this chapter as well as the 11th canto. A lot of research that you did and how you explored the various aspects of how to think about Lord Krishna's departure from this planet, which is a painful episode for most devotees. But you did it very nicely and put things into perspective and how to understand the tattva behind it and the instruction for us. So thank you very much for taking all the effort to do that and to do it very clearly. That was nice. We have Mataji's ended on time as well, so that's wonderful. So would anybody like to ask questions or ask for further information or make comments? Please do so. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, please.
This is very wonderful class about departure of Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna. Very difficult to the devotees at that time. Because of that only Krishna did like that. And Yaduvamsha also, they are very ignorant and murkha. Maybe that people are like that. Because of that, they are quarreling between them and between the family. That is very important to destroy that family to Sri Krishna. For that only he did like that. That is my understanding. And this is very wonderful class. First time I heard about this. This is the one of the how to moral of the families also. In families, so many people are quarreling and so many mistakes are there and punishment are there, but that is not good. That's why Krishna maybe did like that. This is my understanding. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very nice, Madhuri. Thank you for sharing. Actually, yeah, this is actually, I felt, very, very surprised that even though Krishna, his own family members, if they do something wrong, he didn't hesitate to punish them actually, right? So he observed some discrepancy, some whimsical behavior within his family, Edu dynasty, against his will. So he just wanted them to come back. That was one of the reasons mentioned. So yes, so yeah, Srila Prabhupada also explained beautifully in the purport, so it was very good. Thank you so much, Mataji. And Janita Prabhu, you are saying something?
Hare Krishna Mataji, very beautiful class. Like Chaitanya Prabhu said, it's such a deep research into Acharya's writing and 11th canto, 12th canto, sorry. So very wonderful class, Mataji. Thank you for sharing all the aspects of Lord Krishna's disappearance. Like that. flashcards in the chat. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Jai Srila Prabhupada Prabhuji. This is Jai Srila Prabhupada, the purpose, and all our previous acharyas, understandings and realizations was so beautiful. 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, those chapters. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you so much. Yes, I'll take over what other devotees have told till now. A beautiful class, very nicely explored the disciplines of Sri Krishna. Very nicely going over 11th canto. I spread all over the Bhagavatam, or at least the start and the end of Bhagavatam, basically. But thank you so much for sharing that, Mataji, and as just Chandru mentioned, thank you for putting in the right perspective. Very nicely, beautiful. Tattva is, very beautifully put. I would say Mataji, because Krishna decided to leave this from this world, we got Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hmm.
So we got Srimad Bhagavatam. So Janmantare Bhavet Punyam Tada Bhagavatam Labhit. You got this Bhagavatam even after doing a lot of punya. He says, Janmantare Bhavet Punyam Tada Bhagavatam. After doing punya for Janmantare, so many janmas, then we got Bhagavatam on our hand. So thanks so much for sharing from Bhagavatam.
I accept it wholeheartedly. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. You want to say some more things? Or thank you so much, Prabhuji.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for taking effort and waiting, and discarding the glorious, even though it's painful, but the glorious disciplines of worship.
Yeah, it's painful actually. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mataji, do you want to add more, or I think
No, I'm done. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
it's so nice and inspiring to see how you take this service very seriously, and therefore you're taking the studying of the Bhagavatam very seriously, and that's a good example for all of us. So thank you for speaking on these topics, which
Thank
are
you.
they're very profound topics. So thank you for exploring through the vision of the acharyas, like you said. Okay, Vancha kalpa tribhischa kripo sindhubi evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishbhyo namo namaha. So today, moving on, at 11:30 we have Sunday feast class by His Grace Shubha Vilas